Every chosen one faces a moment where everything they have been built for comes down to one test. Not a test designed to break them, a test designed to reveal what was built in them, to confirm what God already knew was there. And this Sunday, in the ordinary hours of an ordinary day, something is going to present itself. A choice, a moment, a door. And chosen one, how you respond to it will determine what opens next in your life. Number one, tests are not signs of weakness. They are signs of readiness. The world reads tests as evidence that something is wrong, that if a person were truly blessed, truly aligned, truly walking in their calling, the tests would stop. The difficulties would ease. The path would become smooth and uncomplicated. But Scripture tells a different story. The tests intensify as the chosen one approaches the next level. They do not diminish, because what the test is doing is not punishing the chosen one. It is proving what was built in them. Confirming that the formation is complete. Establishing that what God built can hold the weight of what is about to be placed on it. The test that is approaching is not evidence that you are failing. It is evidence that you are ready. You do not administer a final examination to someone who has not completed the course. The exam comes at the end of the preparation because the preparation is done. This test is the confirmation of your readiness, not the question of whether you are enough, the demonstration that you already are. Number two, the final test rarely looks dramatic. It usually looks ordinary. This is what catches most chosen ones off guard. They have been prepared for the dramatic test, the obvious moment of clear spiritual significance where the right choice is unmistakable and the stakes are visibly high. The burning bush that announces itself as divine encounter. But the final test before a significant breakthrough is almost always quiet, ordinary, even unremarkable from the outside. It does not announce itself as significant. It arrives dressed as a routine moment, a conversation that seems casual, a decision that seems small, a choice that appears to have limited consequences in either direction. And precisely because it looks ordinary, the chosen one who is watching for the dramatic moment misses it. They are prepared for the obvious test and unprepared for the subtle one. They are looking for the lion and the test arrives as a lamb. Stay alert to the ordinary this Sunday. The significant moment will not announce itself. It will arrive in the texture of a regular day, and recognizing it for what it is requires the kind of spiritual attentiveness that has been built through the whole of the formation. Number three, the test is about character, not performance. The final test before a breakthrough is never about whether you can perform well enough. It is never about skill or eloquence or the ability to produce something impressive. It is always about character, about who you are in the moment when no one is watching and nothing external is motivating you to be your best self. Character is what remains when the audience is gone, when the pressure is off, when the comfortable choice and the right choice are in different directions, and there is no one to notice which one you take. That is the test, not what you can do, who you are. The preparation you have walked through has been building character, not primarily building performance, and the final test reveals whether the character was actually built or only practiced when conditions were supportive. This Sunday, the test will come in a moment where the character is required without the support of favorable conditions, where the right choice costs something, where no one will necessarily notice which direction you go. That is when the real character reveals itself. That is what the test is measuring. You have the character. Trust it and let it lead. Number four, passing the test is not about being perfect. It is about choosing rightly in the moment that counts. Here's the freedom inside the word test. It is not a comprehensive evaluation of your entire life and everything you have ever done. It is a specific moment, a specific choice, a specific expression of what was built in you. And passing it does not require perfection. It requires the right choice in that specific moment. The chosen ones in Scripture who passed their defining tests were not perfect people. Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times, stood before thousands at Pentecost and did not flinch. David, who sinned significantly, was still described as a man after God's own heart. The test did not demand a perfect record. It demanded faithfulness in the defining moment. Your defining moment this Sunday is not asking you to have a perfect history. It is asking you to make the right choice in the moment when it counts. Whatever you have been through, whatever the previous seasons produced in terms of failure alongside the faithfulness. None of that is what the test is measuring. Only the moment, only the choice, only the character that shows up in that specific instant. You are prepared for that. Trust what was built in you and choose rightly when the moment arrives. Number 5. The door that opens after the test is proportionate to the faithfulness of the passing. This is the pattern across Scripture and across the lives of chosen ones in every generation. The breakthrough that follows the final test is not random in its size or its significance. It is proportionate to the quality of the faithfulness demonstrated in the passing of the test. The chosen one who passes the test fully, who gives the complete, honest, faithful response in the defining moment rather than a partial or compromised version of it, receives a breakthrough that reflects the fullness of the faithfulness. This is not a transaction. God is not conducting a fair exchange, but He does respond to the quality of the heart that is demonstrated in the defining moment. And what He releases in response to a complete and honest faithfulness is larger than what He releases in response to a partial one. Do not give a partial response to the test, chosen one. Do not choose 3/4 of the right thing when the full right thing is available. Give all of it. The complete honest version. Whatever the cost of completeness in that moment, the door that opens afterward will be proportionate to how fully you walk through the test. Number 6, Sunday is not random. The timing of significant tests is always intentional, the beginning of the week. The day associated in the Christian tradition with resurrection, with newness, with the first day of the new creation. It is not incidental that this message carries the word Sunday, because significant transitions in the life of a chosen one often align with significant moments in the rhythmic calendar of faith. The timing of your test is intentional, not because God is rigid about the calendar, but because He is intentional about the timing of everything He does in the lives of His chosen ones. He does not place the defining moment randomly. He places it where the symbolic weight of the timing adds meaning to the moment. A Sunday test is a test on the day of resurrection, on the day that says death is not final, that what was buried comes back, that the end of one thing is the beginning of another, and the chosen one who passes their defining test on such a day is passing it at the moment when everything the resurrection points to is available to them. Pay attention to this Sunday, not just to church attendance or spiritual routine, to the moments within it, to the ordinary hours that carry the extraordinary potential of what God is moving in this specific week of your specific season. Number 7, the enemy will try to distract you on the day of the test. This is the warning within the encouragement. The same pattern that appears before every significant transition appears before the final test. The opposition that tries to distract, discourage, or disqualify the chosen one before they can step into the defining moment. The distraction will not announce itself as the enemy's work. It will look like the ordinary complications of an ordinary day, the unexpected conflict that demands your emotional energy before the moment of the test arrives, the discouragement that surfaces from somewhere in the previous seasons, the doubt that rises without obvious cause on the morning of the day that matters. Recognize it for what it is. Not every difficulty is spiritual warfare, but on the day of a defining moment, the timing of the distraction is rarely coincidental. The opposition is trying to get your eyes and your heart away from the moment before it arrives, so that when it does arrive, you are too depleted or too distracted to respond with everything the moment requires. Guard your attention this Sunday. Guard your peace. Guard the internal space that needs to be clear when the defining moment appears. And when the distraction comes, as it likely will, name it for what it is and return your focus to the one who is carrying you through the test. He is with you in it. The distraction cannot change that. Stay focused. Number 8, the test will ask for something you have been holding back. Every final test has a specific shape, and the shape is almost always the same. It asks for the one thing the chosen one has been holding in reserve. The thing they give in most situations but have kept protected in one specific area, the full surrender that has been partially accomplished but not completely. It might be trust. The chosen one who trusts God in most areas but has kept one specific area under their own control. The test will arrive in that area. It might be forgiveness. The chosen one who has forgiven most things but has kept one specific wound closed and protected. The test will arrive at that wound. It might be obedience, the chosen one who is largely obedient but has one specific instruction they have been deferring on. The test will arrive at that instruction. The final test is always precisely shaped to ask for the exact thing that has not yet been fully given, because the breakthrough that is waiting cannot be fully received while that thing is still being withheld. And God, who loves the chosen one too much to let them remain partial when fullness is available, designs the test to produce the release. What have you been holding back? Whatever comes to mind, honestly, when you sit with that question, is likely where the test is going. Release it before Sunday, or release it in the moment Sunday asks for it. Either way, the fullness of the passing depends on the fullness of the release. Number 9, you have passed tests before. Trust what was built in you to pass this one. Look back at the journey, count the moments that required everything you had and still found you still standing on the other side, the seasons that seemed unsurvivable and were survived, the choices that cost more than you thought you could afford to pay and were paid, the faith that was tested past what felt like its limit and held anyway. You have a track record, not a perfect one, but a real one, of choosing rightly in hard moments, of trusting God when trust was costly, of remaining faithful when faithfulness offered no immediate reward. That track record is the evidence that what was built in you can handle what the test requires. You have been here before, not in this exact form, but in this category. The moment where what you carry is being asked to show itself fully. It showed itself before, it will show itself again. Not because you are sufficient in yourself, because what God built in you is sufficient for what God asks of you. Trust it. Walk into Sunday with the quiet confidence of someone who knows what they carry and who placed it there. Number 10, the door on the other side of this test is the one you have been standing before for a long time. There is a door in your life that you have been aware of, not always in the foreground, but present. The sense that something significant is on the other side, that the life you were made for is accessible, but has not yet fully opened, that everything you have been building toward has been pointing towards something that has not yet fully appeared. That door is on the other side of the test. This is what the final test always precedes. Not a small adjustment in circumstances, a significant opening, the kind that changes the shape of your life in ways that the previous chapter could not contain. The test is the key, and Sunday may be the day the key turns. Stay ready, stay grounded, stay close to God through the ordinary hours of what may feel like an ordinary day. And when the moment arrives, as it will, choose fully and faithfully. The door is closed, chosen one. The test stands between you and it, and you have everything you need to pass it. Number 11, the test will reveal what you actually believe, not what you say you believe. There is a difference between declared belief and functional belief. Declared belief is what you say in comfortable moments, in prayer, in conversations about faith, the things you have spoken about God's faithfulness and your trust in Him and your willingness to surrender whatever He asks. Functional belief is what governs your actual decisions under pressure. In the moment when the cost of trusting is visible and the cost of not trusting is also visible. When surrender means giving up something real rather than something theoretical. When the choice between the comfortable option and the faithful one has genuine consequences in either direction. The test reveals which of those two is actually operating in you. Not to shame you, to clarify for you what is fully formed and what still needs work, and to demonstrate to you in a way that no amount of declaration could, the depth of what God has actually built in you. When the moment arrives this Sunday, what you do in it will show you something true about yourself, not just about your spiritual state, about the actual condition of your trust, the actual depth of your surrender, the actual strength of what was formed through the journey. Be honest in that moment. Let the real condition be expressed rather than the performed version, because the real condition is what God is working with, and what He can do with an honest response, even an imperfect one, is more than what He can do with a polished performance. Number 12, some tests require you to stand still, not to act. Not every test asks for a dramatic movement. Some ask for the harder thing, stillness, the refusal to act when acting feels necessary, The choosing to wait when waiting feels like giving up. The trusting that God is moving when everything visible says nothing is moving. This is one of the tests most chosen ones find most difficult, because doing something feels like faith and doing nothing feels like passivity. But God is not confused about the difference between the stillness of trust and the paralysis of fear. And sometimes what he is testing is whether the chosen one can hold their position, resist the urge to manufacture movement on their own, and trust that what he has promised is on its way without needing to force it. If Sunday asks you to stand still, stand still. If it asks you to wait when acting feels urgent, wait. If it asks you to trust without visible confirmation, trust. That stillness, practiced faithfully in the moment that demands it, is one of the most powerful expressions of faith available to a chosen one. It is not weakness. It is one of the hardest and most mature forms of obedience. Number 13, how you treat people in ordinary moments is part of the test. The defining moment does not always arrive in a grand spiritual context. It often arrives in a human one, in how you respond to someone who frustrates you on Sunday morning, in how you speak about someone who has hurt you in a conversation that seems unrelated to anything spiritual, in how you treat the person who serves you, who sits beside you, who is invisible to you in the ordinary flow of the day. The test of character is never only in the obviously spiritual moments, it is also in these ordinary human ones, because character is consistent across contexts or it is not fully formed. The person who is kind in prayer and unkind in traffic has not yet finished what the formation started. How you treat people this Sunday, in the small moments that carry no obvious spiritual weight, is also the test. Be fully what you have been built to be in every interaction. Not only in the ones that feel significant. The chosen one who passes the obvious test and fails the ordinary one has not fully passed. Walk fully this Sunday in everything, the grand and the small, the obvious and the invisible. All of it counts. Number 14, after the test comes clarity. What felt uncertain will become clear. One of the most reliable gifts of passing a defining test is the clarity that follows it. The fog that was present in the preparation lifts. The questions that were unresolved in the waiting begin to find their answers. The direction that felt ambiguous becomes unmistakable. This is because the test is often what the confusion was waiting for. The chosen one who is not yet sure which way to go is often waiting for a test they have not yet taken, because the clarity comes through the choosing, not before it. In the act of making the faithful decision in the defining moment, something aligns internally that was misaligned before. The compass settles. The direction becomes clear. After this Sunday, the clarity you have been seeking will be more available than it was before. Not because all the circumstances will have resolved, because the internal alignment that the test produces will make the direction visible in a way that the uncertainty of the pretest season could not. Trust the clarity that follows. It is real, and it is the reward of a faithful response to what the test required. Number 15. The people who matter in the next season will be watching how you handle this one. This is not a reason to perform the test for an audience. It is an honest reality about how the character of a chosen one is evaluated by the people who are considering whether to walk with them into the next chapter. The people who are meant to be part of your next season are not evaluating your highlight reel. They are watching how you handle difficulty, how you respond under pressure, whether what you say about your faith is consistent with how you live when the faith is costly, whether the character you present in favorable conditions holds in unfavorable ones. Sunday is being watched, not necessarily by many people, but by the ones whose observation matters for what comes next. The person who will partner with you, the person who will open a door, the person who is deciding whether your character qualifies you for what they have to offer. Handle this Sunday with integrity, not for the audience, because integrity is what you are. And letting what you are be fully visible in this season is what brings the right people toward what comes next. Number 16, God's faithfulness in the test is as certain as his faithfulness in the breakthrough. The chosen one entering a test can sometimes feel abandoned, as if the preparation season was accompanied by God's presence, but the test itself has to be navigated alone, as if the closeness that was felt in the formation disappears in the proving. It does not disappear. God is as present in the test as he was in the preparation, as active, as attentive, as invested in the outcome. He did not step back to watch impartially. He is present in every moment of the test. in every second of the choosing, in every breath of the defining moment. The test is not taken alone. It is taken with the one who built the character being tested, who knows what is in you because he placed it there, who is watching not with the anxiety of a creator unsure of their work, but with the confidence of a father who knows his child. He is with you in this. The same faithfulness that has been present throughout the journey is present in the final test and present in the breakthrough that follows it. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And this Sunday is no exception to that truth. Number 17. Pass the test and the next season opens. This is how it has always worked. Look back across the journey. Every new season that opened was preceded by a test, not always recognized as a test while it was happening, but visible in retrospect as the moment that, when navigated faithfully, produced the opening of what came next. The promotion did not arrive until after the season of faithfulness in the lesser position was complete. The relationship did not deepen until after the test of honesty was passed. The breakthrough did not come until after the final act of trust in the season of silence was demonstrated. The pattern is consistent. Test. Faithful response. Opening. This is how God moves in the lives of chosen ones, not because he is withholding until they earn it, because he is building in sequence. And each opening requires the preceding test to have been navigated in order for the foundation of the opening to be solid. Pass this test, chosen one, faithfully, completely, without the partial response that leaves something still unaddressed, and watch what opens. It has been waiting for this. You have been waiting for it. The test is the door to it. Pass it, walk through, and enter the season that has been prepared for the one who was faithful in this final proving. Number 18, regardless of how Sunday unfolds, God is faithful. That does not change. This final word is the most important, because not every Sunday brings the defining moment on the expected timeline. Not every test reveals itself on the day the message pointed to. Sometimes the moment is delayed. Sometimes it arrives in a different form than was expected. Sometimes the chosen one does their best in what they face, and only later understands how it all connected. Through all of it, God is faithful. The timing he uses is his own. The form the test takes is his to determine. And the chosen one who holds fast to faith, regardless of whether Sunday unfolds exactly as this message suggested, is demonstrating something more significant than any single test can measure. Consistent faithfulness across time. The willingness to be ready even when the defining moment does not arrive on the expected schedule. The trust that says, even if this Sunday is ordinary, I will still be faithful in it, because faithfulness is what I am. That is the highest form of passing the test, passing every version of it. Expected and unexpected, dramatic and quiet, recognized and unrecognized. Be faithful this Sunday, chosen one, in everything, and trust the God who is building something in and through your life that no single test could fully contain. He is faithful. You are ready. And whatever comes next is in his hands. Like this video, if this message met you where you are today, subscribe to this channel because what comes after this Sunday was written for the chosen ones stepping into what opens next. Share this with someone facing their own defining moment who needs to know the test is not designed to break them. And comment below with the word ready, because that is what you are. God bless you, chosen one. This Sunday could change your life. Pass the test. Walk through the door. Thumbnail text. Your defining moment is this Sunday. Be ready. Number 19. The test is also a gift. It shows you who you have become. Most people go through life without ever clearly seeing the depth of what was built in them through their difficult seasons. They carry it. They express it. But they rarely see it with the clarity that only a defining test can provide. The test is the mirror. The moment when you see, not in theory but in lived reality, what the formation actually produced. When the character that was being built across all those seasons expresses itself in the defining moment, and you discover that it was real, that what God was building in you was actually built, that the faith is genuinely there, that the endurance was not performance, that who you are in the difficult moment is the same as who you are in the comfortable one. That discovery is one of the most important ones a chosen one ever makes, because it settles something It answers the question that the enemy has been asking for years, the quiet question that said, maybe you are not who you think you are. Maybe what you carry is not what you believe it is. Maybe when it really matters, you will fold. The test answers that question with evidence, real evidence, lived evidence, the kind that cannot be argued away because it was demonstrated, not declared. Receive that gift, chosen one. Let the test show you who you have become, and let what you see be the foundation of the confidence you carry into everything that comes after it. God bless you.